Welcome to this deep dive. We're looking at a really fascinating set of sources today, all focusing on this single ancient symbol from Egypt, one you've almost certainly seen.
That's right. And the material gives such an insightful look at it, sort of peeling back the layers on a symbol that seems simple, but, well, the Egyptians packed a lot into it.
Absolutely. We're talking about the Shen ring. Once you recognize it, you start seeing it everywhere in Egyptian art, on artifacts.
Hmm.
So our mission today is to get under the skin of this symbol. What did this loop of rope actually mean? Because like you said, it's way more complex than it looks.
Okay, so let's start simple. Physically, what is it? The sources describe it as, well, just a closed loop of rope. The ends are tied together.
Right, just a circle of rope. And the Egyptian name, it's Shun, which apparently means to encircle.
To encircle or to encompass, yeah, that's the literal meaning.
And that contrast is really stark, isn't it? This incredibly simple shape, just tied rope, holding these profound ideas. It clearly wasn't just decoration.
Not at all. So the big question is, how did they load up this simple loop with so much meaning? What's the sort of primary concept the sources link it to?
Eternity. That
What?
seems to be the first major one. The unbroken circle, no beginning, no end, a perfect symbol for something continuous, everlasting.
Exactly. And the sources give those great, very Egyptian examples, like the sun, its daily journey across the sky, setting, rising again, always returning.
That constant cycle.
Yeah.
And the other one was the Nile flood, right?
Yes,
Hmm.
just as vital. That annual inundation bringing life back to the land year after year, predictably. These cycles were, well, fundamental to their entire worldview. They guaranteed continuity.
So that simple loop of rope, for them, it captured that deep reality, the endless return, the promise of rebirth, this whole idea of cyclical existence.
Precisely. You could look at it and instantly get that sense of everlastingness, of permanence.
Okay, so eternity is a huge one. What else did this loop symbolize, according to the material we looked at?
Well, another major meaning was protection, divine protection, specifically.
Ah. And you see that visually, don't you? God's holding the ring, often positioning it over the pharaoh.
Exactly that. The sources mention gods like Horus, Nekbet, I think even Sobek in some cases,
Oh.
holding the Shen ring towards the ruler, or sort of hovering it above them.
So it's like a visual statement.
Yeah.
This person is shielded, guarded by the gods.
Mm-hmm. To be encircled by it meant you were under that eternal divine guard.
Now, was that protection just personal? For the pharaoh's safety? Or did it mean something more?
Oh, it was definitely broader than just personal safety. The sources really stress that. While it certainly implied divine guardianship for the ruler, it extended to the stability of the kingship itself, the office.
Okay.
And crucially, it extended to the whole land of Egypt, to maintaining Ma'at.
Cosmic order.
Right.
Right. So a stable pharaoh, protected by the Shen ring, equals a stable cosmos, basically, for Egypt anyway.
You got it. The Shen ring wasn't just protecting the individual, it was symbolizing the eternal safeguarding of that essential cosmic balance the pharaoh had to uphold.
Which leads us pretty naturally into the third big theme, divine authority and royal power.
Yeah, it's all interwoven. See, when a god holds the Shen ring, it signifies their eternal power, their domain.
Okay.
But when you see it with the pharaoh, maybe he's shown inside it, or a god is handing it to him, that really hammers home the pharaoh's unique status.
His connection to the gods.
Yes. It's like a badge signifying his divine right to rule, his direct link to that eternal cosmic order we just talked about. It positions him as sort of the god's representative on earth, part of that sacred eternal loop.
The sources also mention something about it being used at the base of standards, like representing regions or gods. How does that fit?
Ah, right. Putting the Shen ring at the bottom of a standard, say one representing a nome, a region, or a specific deity, it visually communicated that the pharaoh's authority encompassed that entire area or concept.
So encompassing the whole land.
Exactly. It symbolized completeness, wholeness, bring in the whole circle of, creation, life, death, rebirth, all under the pharaoh's divine governance and protection.
Okay, it's really coming together now. The circle, eternity, protection, the pharaoh's place. But there's one specific version of the Shen ring that's probably the most famous one mentioned.
Oh, absolutely. The cartouche. I mean, most people have seen a cartouche, even if they don't know the name or its connection here.
That oval shape, right, with the line at one end, where they wrote the pharaoh's names. The sources say it's basically just an elongated Shen ring.
It is exactly that. And its main job, which is just fascinating, was protection. But not just general protection, specifically safeguarding the royal name.
Wait, protecting the name? From what? Bad luck.
From malevolent magic or even just being forgotten, obliterated.
Hmm.
According to the sources, the name, the Ren, was absolutely fundamental to your being, especially for a king.
Wow.
So, enclosing that name within the eternal loop of the cartouche, this modified Shen ring, was literally about ensuring the king's eternal existence, his influence, his survival in the afterlife. It was magically potent.
That puts a whole different spin on just seeing names written in ovals. It wasn't just labeling, it was actively shielding them.
It really was. And the sources point out a secondary function, too. It was an unmistakable sign of royal status. Putting your names inside this special, protected, eternal shape, well,
Marked you out?
as divine rulers,
Yeah.
separate from everyone else.
Affirming their sovereignty, that unique link to the gods and the cosmic order we keep coming back to, it defined their place.
And I guess being an elongated Shen ring, it still carried all that core symbolism, eternity, protection.
Absolutely. It implicitly carried the idea of the eternal nature of the pharaoh's reign, their power, their legacy, ensuring their memory, their monuments, their very essence would endure forever.
You really do start seeing it everywhere once you know what to look for. In the talons of Horus, the cartouches, the standards, amulets, temple walls.
Its sheer ubiquity tells you this wasn't some minor decorative motif. It was truly a foundational concept in their whole symbolic system.
And the sources connect all this complex meaning back to that ancient Egyptian drive for order, Ma'at, their incredibly sophisticated way of using symbols, and just that profound belief in an enduring existence beyond death.
So by digging into this one seemingly simple loop of rope, the Shen ring, you actually get a powerful insight into the core Egyptian worldview, don't you?
You really do. Their ideas about life, death, eternity, power, the universe's order, it's kind of all wrapped up in there. It's like a microcosm of their deepest beliefs.
Okay, so to recap, we went from just a tied loop of rope to understanding its connections to eternity, divine protection, royal authority, and then its really powerful evolution into the cartouche, safeguarding the king's name for all time.
A symbol representing cyclical existence, godly guardianship, the legitimacy of kingship, and ultimately the eternal continuity of cosmic order itself. Quite a lot for a simple circle.
It really is.
Yeah.
So here's something to maybe think about after this, based on what we've discussed from the sources. How amazing is it that a culture could take such a basic shape, just a circle of rope, and invest it with so many layers of meaning, using it to grapple with huge ideas about permanence, power, existence,
Yeah.
when facing the great unknown. Maybe consider how symbols work in our own time. Do we have symbols that carry that kind of weight? Or perhaps, do our symbols sometimes fail to capture those really core beliefs or anxieties about our own place in the world? Just something to ponder.